Well, good morning. Thank you for this opportunity to spend an hour of my life with you as you're spending a whole 4 Saturdays now. We're going to take a leap. We're going to invite you to think about your moonshot. You heard Pilar set this up for me perfectly. Like, what is it you want? What is it you desire? What is it really? Are you clear? Do you have clarity? Because if you have clarity, the universe will conspire to help manifest that for you. If you don't have clarity, any road will get you there. And being clear about some big goal like what we're talking about here, being leaders, coming into a space where we're starting behind, where there's income inequality, we've got to be able to think big. So what's your moonshot? Do you have a moonshot? What's your giant leap for humankind? If you think about your strengths, it takes a multitude of them, a constellation of them for you to be effective. And what you're gaining here and gathering here and hopefully going to amplify long after September 19th, 2015 is done, is some principles and an ecosystem that can help support you. Don't underestimate the power and value of this ecosystem that you've generated. This is not how work gets done. This is how work gets done. In complex, interconnected networks, where if you look carefully, that all-knowing red eye in the sea level is actually highly marginalized in the network. So when people say, oh, I'm not a leader because of my position, I say to them, leadership is not a position, leadership is a decision. Leadership is not a position, leadership is a decision. Today, decide that you're going to be that leader. Because you can lead anywhere in the enterprise if you understand that principle. Okay? We have people in a network that are just lovable, but they're not reliable. And we have people that are so reliable, but they are not lovable. So if you're going to earn trust, you need to have this complex of skills that you include. You want to be lovable, to the extent that's appropriate, but you also want to be reliable, accountable, right? Now here's a good one on accountability, since leadership is about accountability in many respects. Do what you say you're going to do, even after the mood in which you said it has passed. Do what you say you're going to do, even after the mood in which you said it has passed. So you're going to leave here today, and you're going to be kumbayaing out the door, and I don't know what the fall-off rate will be. It'll be 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, 1 week. But all the stuff you said you were going to do with your life journey and networking and follow-up and my morning meditation, do what you say you're going to do even after the mood has passed. Okay? Then you're being accountable to yourself. So many of us come from organizations where we have strategy this, strategy that. And strategy is important, but culture eats strategy for breakfast. This is not Neville saying it. This is Peter Drucker, who came up with management by objectives, who's a guru of business. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. Kaplan and Norton, the balanced scorecard that many organizations use to keep track of how they're doing, KPIs, metrics. They say 75% of your strategic value comes from the intangibles that you can't measure. So we got to start seeing the world differently. We got to use a new pair of eyes. Back to what's good is sight if you have no vision. The one on the right, many of you have seen probably, right? The young lady, old lady, if you look at it carefully, it kind of flip-flops on you. The one on the left, the guy's both profile and forward view, if you look at it long enough. Oh! You hear that little aha that happened right then? Okay, that's the aha moment that I want you to remember, that I got to keep seeing with the new pair of eyes. Okay? And if you can't see it yet, sometimes it's a struggle, don't worry. I'll get you the deck and you can stare at it for hours and finally you'll go, oh, yeah, I see it now. Okay, so as we kind of put a wrap or a bow around all of this, no one of us is as smart as all of us. We need each other. I don't care how, there's no single light bulb in the organization, in the community, in the network that's brighter. We all need each other. And I'll illustrate it through this jelly bean example. If I had a can of jelly beans sitting right here and asked us all to guess how many were in there, on average you would be 30% correct. But if we took all your numbers and added them up, on average we get closer to 99% correct. I did set my work with a little group of less than 20 people in my marketing department because one day on Easter, or the couple days before, some wonderful soul brought all of us a little jar of M&Ms. And so I told this story. And so, of course, I'm in a marketing group. They're like, Prove it. I'm like, holy spit. Okay, first of all, my sample size is only under 20, but okay, bring it, let's go. So one person pulls out their cell phone and they're using the calculator. Everyone's turning in their little chips. The numbers that are coming in are from 30 to 300. Okay? I don't know what the person who said 300 was smoking that day, but I was thinking, okay, whatever. I'm like, this is going to bomb spectacularly. I'm going to look like such a dope. They were within 2 M&Ms of the right answer. It was 199, there was 197 in there. And the range was 30 to 300. Even those 300 kind of out there folks in your network, they're important. They give you perspective. They give you lateral thinking. So there's 2 things you want from your network. You need quality of ideas, and you need quantity of ideas. So you always have a go-to person for something. And so when you need them, you go to them. Start adding someone else into the conversation. Invite in one other person. You'll be surprised that they will give you perspective, and they will either contribute or they will learn from. And once again, we will be creating greater value for each other. I talked about trust earlier. In schools, schools that have a high trust environment have 7 times greater academic achievement. 7 times greater. We adjust the technology, we adjust the program, we adjust the curricula. The thing you want to adjust is the trust. Qualcomm. Market caps in the billions, Smart Dragon chips, 42 per second being generated. They want to be an innovation economy. To be an innovator, you got to risk take. To risk take, you got to collaborate. To collaborate, you have to have trust. You want to move the needle on your organization, and you want to wave these flags about innovation, start by building trust. Because trust begets collaboration, collaboration begets risk taking, and risk taking will create innovation. There's a sequence, there's a method, there's a process. This is time tried through human history. Because if I don't trust you, I ain't going to collaborate with you. And if we don't collaborate, how can we risk take? Because if I come back and say I failed, you're like, you're out! You suck! Right? But when you risk take, you fail fast, you fail forward. There's no failure, actually. There's only feedback. When you think about your life discovery work and the reframe opportunity, here's my suggestion to you. Say thank you for that. At that point in my life, that was valuable. But now I'm beyond that. So I'm going to, whether I ritually burn it, put it in a fireplace and watch it literally evaporate into thin air, or I celebrate and say, at that time, that was the best I had and that's the best I could do. But now I'm different. This is a new me. This is a new day. This is a new opportunity. However you choose to do it, there's no failure. There's only feedback. So continue to grow and build your skills. We talked about that constellation of strengths at the beginning. Networking, branding, empowerment, civic engagement, resilience. Resilience is a powerful, powerful tool. There's a big difference between happiness and well-being. Happiness is fleeting and short-term. And oftentimes happiness is about what we get. Well-being is long-term. It's more organic and total, and it's about what we give.